I worked out for 12 hours straight, and I set 6 mandatory goals: to run 20 miles, squat 50,000 pounds, bench press 25,000, curl 10,000, climb the Burj Khalifa, and sit in the sauna for 30 minutes, all under 12 hours. And if I came short on any of these challenges, I had to soak my body in cold water and dump sawdust all over it. The challenge began at 9 p.m., which means I had to work out all through the night. You can see it's dark outside. To fuel my body through this 12-hour challenge, I brought a whole gallon of water and 3 meals. Am I nervous? I think so. This is a lot. The hardest challenge I was facing was running for 20 miles, so I started that first. I've been running for 28 minutes now, and I've only got 3 miles. I don't feel, terribly great, but I gotta run kind of slow because I still have to walk up the Burj Khalifa and squat 50,000 pounds. And that's just the things I need to do with my legs. The problem was that I had so much work to do with my legs that if I didn't pace myself, I would risk cramping, or maybe even pulling a muscle. And if that happened, then I'd definitely fail the challenge. And as of right now, my body thought this was just a normal workout, but it had no idea what was about to come. All right, that's it. Now, I probably could have ran that 10 minutes faster, but speed isn't what we're looking for right now. After running that 5 miles, I felt a great sense of accomplishment, and I wasn't that tired. But I still had to lift a total of 85,000 pounds, climb the Burj Khalifa, sit in almost 200 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes, and do what I just did 3 more times. Now it was time to squat, and my options were pretty simple. I could lift 100 pounds 500 times, 135 pounds 370 times, 225 pounds 222 times, or 315 pounds 158 times. This seemed to be the most efficient option because it wouldn't tire me out as much as 500 reps, and it wouldn't be impossible to lift like 315 pounds. Guys, so I've done 7 sets so far. I'm actually feeling really good. I don't know, I'm getting a rush. I might try and just wrap this up right now. I was very excited that I was feeling good, making a lot of progress, drinking tons of water, rep after rep, set after set. I was going at it 100%, but there are still complications. Just hit my head. After that, I decided not to tire myself out too much since I still have 15 miles left, so I stopped halfway through. I'm gonna get the first meal. I'm not sure if eating in the gym is against the rules or not, so I found a place that I wouldn't be seen. And after I finished my first meal, it was time to get back to the treadmill. After the first 5 miles and 25,000 pounds worth of squats, it was near impossible to run right. So for most of the time, I chose to walk. Okay, well, I just went 1.2 miles in 30 minutes. Then I had to go to the bathroom, and honestly, I was very excited to have this excuse to stop moving for a minute. But that didn't last long. Now it's back to the treadmill, and I have 1.5 miles until I hit 10 total. This isn't going as well as I hoped. Now that I was halfway done with squats and running, it was time to move on to the next challenge, which is 25,000 pounds worth of bench press. Right now the bar weighed exactly 100 pounds, which means I had to lift it 250 times, which was actually pretty easy, surprisingly. So just finished bench press. 25,000 pounds. Now that it was 1:30 a.m., the gym was starting to die down a little bit, and I decided to run an additional 1.5 miles. And after that, it was time to go in the sauna and start working towards the half an hour I needed to be in there. I gotta take a minute. It's like 170 degrees in here. Super hot. I've been in here for about 10 minutes, and I'm just dying. I'm pretty sure my heart rate's over 100 beats per minute right now. I think I gotta get out. It's been like 15 minutes, something like that, so I gotta get out. It's important not to be in the sauna too long without cooling off, so the goal for me was to go in there 2 times for about 15 minutes. I think it's 30 minutes. 30 minutes of sauna time. Down. After the sauna, I figured it'd be a great time to get my next meal, so I went out to the Prius and snuck it inside the gym. One thing I didn't expect was there was no comfortable place to sit at the gym, and the best place I could find was the stationary bike. So it's 3:13, which means I'm 13 minutes past my hour. Half of the challenge is done, and I'm getting crazy tired. Crazy tired. My newest enemy that I didn't really expect was exhaustion. I was falling asleep everywhere I went and started to feel like a zombie. Because I was getting tired, I took a lot of breaks, and that was a horrible idea because now my legs were so stiff that it took me 14 minutes to walk 0.7 miles. I wasn't sure what to do next, and I definitely didn't want to do it. So I made my way across the gym where I could take another break. So it's 4 a.m. and honestly, I just want to lay down. I'm pretty drained. I may have been in over my head on this one. At this point, I've been awake for just about 24 hours, and in case you haven't noticed, I've been slurring my words, and now I'm having a hard time concentrating my eyes onto a subject. Well, I definitely can't go to sleep. The music's so loud, by the way. It's almost time for people to start coming in. It's just not gonna work out, so I better start working towards my goals. Now that the gym was getting more crowded, I started to feel very awkward carrying around 2 cameras, one on my chest and one on a freaking tripod aimed at my body. But regardless of how awkward I felt, I still had to put in the work, and I only have 5 more hours to do it all. The next challenge was to curl 10,000 pounds, or 2 SUVs. One more set of curls, and then I did my 10,000 pounds. Then curls can be crossed off the list. After I finished up curls, it was time to go back to squats. But the weird thing was, it was literally 6 hours ago when I did my first half. I felt like if I finished these squats, I'd be in a really good place in terms of my goals. So I busted them out as fast as I could. However, I knew it was getting late and I was getting tired, so I was very diligent with my counting. Now that I lifted my 50,000 pounds, it was time to do my least favorite thing in the world, stair stepping. 5:31 a.m. A good old stair stepper. On a normal day, I would have woken up 30 minutes ago. It's kind of weird, especially like I just got done with squats, and the time that I squatted before that was 6 hours before. Stair stepping was incredibly difficult. After running more than 10 miles, squatting 50,000 pounds, I now have to walk up the entire Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. All right, it's been almost 30 minutes. I got 100 floors so far. My heart is racing. The later it got, the more people showed up to the gym. And the funny thing to me was, I was sitting in the corner half dead, and none of these people had any idea that I've been in here working out for 9 hours straight. Alright, that was like a 2-minute, 3-minute break. We have 60 more flights to get up. 60. I honestly can't tell you guys how much I wanted to stop at this point. Even though I had 100 stories under my belt, 63 more seemed near impossible. But somehow I managed to pull through. Here it is, guys. 63. Getting off was probably one of the most relieving feelings I've ever felt. But as I sat down, I realized I still had a lot of time left in the gym. And the thought of going another 10 miles really didn't seem like anything I wanted to do. So it was time for another break. As you can see, it's getting bright outside now. And it's time for my last meal that I packed. As I was eating, I was enjoying my break so much that I thought, let's go upstairs and continue it. But I was scared of one thing, and that was falling asleep. I didn't want to get kicked out, and I didn't want anybody thinking I had a heart attack and died, because I've never seen somebody sleeping in the middle of a gym. I really didn't want anybody to see what I was about to do. I got my book bag, put it up like a pillow, and decided to lay down for a little bit. Well, that little bit turned into about 30 minutes. And thankfully, this guy woke me up. I don't know if I just dozed off. I think I did. I was still extremely tired. Yeah. I don't know if you guys ever stayed up so late and worked so physically hard that you didn't know when you fell asleep. You were that tired. And that was me. On top of that, I realized that there's no way I'm gonna run again. In fact, the only way I'd ever complete the remaining 10 miles is if I slept walked them. And even then, I wouldn't have enough time. But even though I felt like this, there was no doubt in my mind I was going to finish these 12 hours. I was just gonna finish them waiting around. Because honestly, at this point, I had no plans on going back on the treadmill. I can't believe I've been in here for 12 hours. 12 hours is a little bit too long to be working out. 12 hours. That was too much. The only thing I didn't complete was running. I fell 8.5 miles short, and looking back, if I hadn't have given up, I could have easily finished it. And because of that, even though I stayed in the gym for 12 hours, I still had to do the punishment. I soaked my body in cold water and poured sawdust all over myself, making sure to get every crevice. Standing in the middle of my driveway, covered in sawdust, it didn't take long to get people's attention.
You know there's soap in there.
Yeah, man. So I realized that this challenge is more about embarrassment than anything else. I did not want people to see me standing for 30 minutes in front of my driveway covered in sawdust. But eventually the embarrassment finally ended, so I rinsed off as best I could, got in my shower, and used my all-natural Mr. 1920 soap that you can pronounce every ingredient to. It smells so nice.